Welcome to Tales from the Grave. Please allow me to guide you through the darkest corners of the human soul. It is said that stories create the world we live in. What world would you have? Let us begin.
The Door of Truth. Elias Morton didn't believe in ghost stories. At least, that's what he told himself every time he fell down late-night rabbit holes of supernatural forums, watching shaky phone videos of shadowy hallways and grainy photos of impossible things. He told himself he read them for amusement, not obsession. But there was one story that never quite let him go. The story of the Door of Truth. It had 100 variations, each retelling warped with time, but they all shared the same kernel. The door would appear when you least expected it, where it shouldn't be. It was never sought, it found you. And if you dared to open it, you wouldn't find another room. You'd find yourself. Some said it was paradise, others swore it was hell. Always, though, the rule was the same. The door doesn't take you where you want to go. It takes you where you deserve to be. Elias laughed it off most nights, but deep down, he was drawn to the idea, drawn to something that could weigh a life and pass judgment. He'd never admit it aloud, but he wondered, what would the door think of him? It was a Tuesday night when it appeared. Elias had just come home from work, loosening his tie, juggling a takeout bag in one hand, his keys in the other. His building was old, the kind of place with flickering lights, thin walls, and the faint smell of mildew that no amount of bleach could ever cure. At the end of the hallway, where he knew there should be the dented fire door, stood something new. It was taller than the others, narrow, crafted of black wood that seemed to absorb the dim fluorescent glow. A bronze handle gleamed like an ember. He stopped cold. His first instinct was to laugh it off. Someone was playing a prank. But the longer he stared, the heavier the air seemed to get, like the hallway itself was holding its breath. His pulse quickened. It can't be. He dropped his takeout on the floor. His feet moved before his mind could stop them. The closer he came, the stranger the door felt. The wood didn't just look dark, it drank light. The handle was cold against his palm, so cold it almost burned. For one flickering second, he thought he heard whispers from behind it, like voices carried through water. Then, without warning, the door opened. On the other side was not the stairwell he expected. A meadow stretched out, endless and golden, beneath a watercolor sky. The scent of lilacs and warm earth filled his lungs. Birds chirped. The air was the kind of soft warmth that made your body relax without permission. And then recognition hit. This wasn't just any meadow. It was his grandmother's meadow, the one behind her farmhouse, where he and his little sister had spent their summers chasing fireflies until dusk. His throat tightened. That house had burned to the ground decades ago. And then he heard her.
Elias!
The voice rang like a bell across the grass. A laugh, familiar, pure. His chest clenched. Is that Emily? He whispered. She appeared at the far edge of the meadow, wearing her yellow sundress, the one she'd twirled in during their last summer together. She waved at him, smiling wide. Tears blurred his vision as he stumbled forward. His little sister, the sister he hadn't seen since the night of the fire. But with every step, something shifted. The air grew heavier. The grass wilted under his shoes. The sky darkened into an ugly bruise of gray and orange. Emily's dress caught sparks, then flame. Her laughter twisted into shrieks. The farmhouse materialized behind her, ablaze, its windows glowing like the eyes of something alive. Elias froze, heart pounding as memories flooded back. The crackle of fire, the choking smoke, his father's shouts drowned in chaos. And Emily pounding on the upstairs window, Emily screaming for him. He had told everyone he tried to save her, that the smoke was too thick, that the flames blocked his way. He had cried in front of neighbors, firefighters, anyone who would listen. But the truth he had buried so deep it festered, was that he had stood frozen. Not just frozen, relieved. She had always been their father's golden child, the perfect one. Without her, Elias had finally mattered. Elias. Her voice croaked through the flames, blistered and broken. Her burned hand reached for him, fingers cracking, ash flaking into the wind. The air filled with the stench of charred flesh. Elias whirled toward the door. It stood just a few steps away, waiting. The handle gleamed. He lunged, seizing it with both hands, twisting desperately. It didn't budge. He pulled harder, pounding, screaming, "Let me out!" But the stories were true. The door gave you what you deserved. Behind him, the fire roared higher. Emily's scorched arms wrapped around his shoulders, iron strong. Her voice hissed in his ear.
You must stay.
He screamed as the fire engulfed them both, lungs filling with smoke. His last vision was the reflection in the bronze handle, his own face, not as the man he believed to be, but as the boy who had stood watching, unmoving, and deserved this.
If you are enjoying Tales from the Grave, please be sure to like and subscribe for more spine-tingling stories. Now, back to Tales from the Grave. Detective Marla Hensley didn't believe in curses. She'd seen too many crime scenes, too many grieving families, too many pathetic killers who thought they were smarter than they were. Evil wasn't supernatural, it was human. But when Elias Morton vanished from his apartment building, leaving behind nothing but a cold takeout bag and a hallway with no fire exit, she felt the first stirrings of doubt. Witnesses swore they'd seen a strange black door at the end of the corridor. The landlord insisted it was just another disappearance in a bad part of town. Marla, however, wasn't so sure. The rumors started swirling the moment she dug deeper. The Door of Truth, an urban legend that cropped up in a dozen unsolved missing persons cases over the last 30 years. Always the same story, a door where no door should be. People stepped through and never came back. Until now, it had been background noise to her, like Bloody Mary or Slender Man, a myth. But Elias's case gnawed at her. One night, long after her colleagues had left the precinct, she found herself sitting alone at her desk, staring at the old files. She caught herself whispering aloud, as if daring the universe, "Where's your door now?" When she got home at 2 a.m., it was waiting for her. It stood wedged between the couch and the window, impossibly tall for her apartment, the black wood swallowing the lamplight. The bronze handle gleamed like a beckoning eye. Her first instinct was to draw her gun. She raised it, finger on the trigger, but some primal instinct told her bullets wouldn't matter here. Her second instinct was to leave, but her feet carried her closer. She touched the handle. Ice bit her skin. The door opened. She was standing in an interrogation room. Not the one at her precinct. This was smaller, dirtier, with cracked tiles and a single flickering bulb. She knew this place. It was where she had broken her first suspect, the man she had sworn was guilty of the Martin child murders. Across the table sat Gregory Vale. His thin face, the nervous tapping of his fingers, the twitch in his left eye. She remembered it all. He'd always pleaded innocence. He'd begged her to believe him. But Marla hadn't. She had pushed him, cornered him, manipulated him until he confessed. It had been the proudest moment of her early career. She'd been praised, promoted, made a name for herself. Gregory Vale had died in prison 6 years later, beaten by other inmates. Case closed. But now he was here, staring at her. "You knew I didn't do it," he whispered. Marla shook her head violently. "No, you confessed." His lips curled into a sad smile. "Because you made me. You wanted a win. You wanted the truth to be whatever you said it was." The walls of the interrogation room trembled. The mirror across from her rippled like water. And from the darkness beyond it, voices rose. Children's voices. The Martin kids. Crying. Calling for help. Her stomach dropped. Gregory leaned forward. His skin was peeling now, rotting. Maggots writhing in the sockets of his eyes. The real killer kept going after me. More children died. That's on you. Marla staggered back, choking on bile. No, I... The door stood behind her, bronze handle gleaming. She lunged for it. It didn't move. The children's voices grew louder, filling the room, a chorus of screams and sobs. The walls oozed with bloody fingerprints. Gregory's face melted, exposing a skull that still somehow smiled. "You wanted the truth?" His voice echoed like a judge's gavel. "Then live with it." Hands, small, cold, dozens of them, burst through the walls, grabbing her wrists, her throat, her ankles. She shrieked, clawing at the door handle, but it refused her. As the children dragged her into the dark, the bronze handle showed her reflection one last time, not as the strong detective she believed herself to be, but as a fraud who had traded justice for ambition. The door closed. Epilogue. Marla Hensley's apartment was found empty 2 days later. Her service weapon sat on the floor, chamber full. The window was locked from the inside. The case file was marked "Missing Person, Status Unresolved." And somewhere, the door of truth waited, patient, for the next soul who thought they could outrun what they deserved. Thank you for being here. Please be sure to leave us a comment. Let us know where you're listening from. Until we meet again, stay spooky, and may all your nightmares be groovy.